To start out this build, we have a mildly important piece of equipment, the case. For this build, I chose the Corsair Carbide Series 100R. Next up, for the motherboard, we have the Asus M5 A97R 2.0. The graphics card for this build is the Gigabyte Radeon R7 240. For memory, I got the Crucial Ballistic Sports 8GB kit, and for the processor, the AMD FX 6300 6-core processor. To cool off the processor, I wanted to get a water cooler, so my friend and I picked out the Corsair Hydro Series H60. For the power supply, the EVGA 500 watt. It seems like storage is pretty standard when it comes to a build, unless you're doing solid state, which I'm not. So for this build, I got the WD Blue 1TB hard drive. I also went ahead and bought this basic Asus DVD drive, because how else am I supposed to play Age of Empires? And lastly, the operating system that I'll be putting on this build is something a lot of people hate and have things against, but I've actually gotten used to it and start to like it, is Windows 10. So here is basically what the exterior looks like, pretty boring from the outside. But if we slide off this panel, we can see inside. So everything has been installed in there. And actually, this video is being, this segment of the video is being recorded way after this computer's been done. I've just kind of been procrastinating about finishing it. So everything is in here, it works fine. Power supply, graphics card, the processor, cooler processor back there. Storage, the DVD drive, obviously the motherboard, a whole mess of cables back here, which I will show what the back looks like in a little bit. But yeah, this is basically the completed build. Since I've been playing with it for several months, I can honestly say I'm really happy with it. I will definitely be upgrading parts in the future, but for now, this computer does exactly what I wanted it to do. If you guys do watch my YouTube channel, you do know I've been releasing a couple of Minecraft videos, so that was basically the main reason I wanted to do this. And so it does, so it does what I needed to do. The other side, and take off this side panel. It's really hard to get out because, as you can see, cable management is not something I am good at. I did my very best to smush everything in there, and that's pretty much the best you're gonna get. At least in this build. Maybe next time I do a build, I will try to do a little bit nicer job. But for this one, pretty much all I was trying to do is making sure as much of the cables as possible were in the back, so that the front had a little bit of a nicer, cleaner look. And so I kind of achieved that, except for this, which just like sticks out in the open. You can see it from the other side. It's a little bit obnoxious, but for a first attempt, I'm not going to complain. I think I did a pretty good job with this. I just have to say I'm very proud that I actually have my own custom-built computer. It's not like top of the line or anything, but it is mine and I did make it. And so it's kind of cool that I can tell someone that I built a computer. And yeah, I don't know, I just think it's really cool. And now we can cut to a little bit more of the external setup, which really isn't that great, but I'm going to show it off anyway. The externals are really nothing to brag about. We have a set of speakers from my mom's old computer. That monitor is from my very first computer down here, this big, flat, clunky thing, and I did use it for the laptop when I used that more often. The mouse I got when I got the laptop. The keyboard is from my dad's old computer. Pretty much the only piece of new tech is this nice new Acer monitor, 21.5 inches, I believe. It's really nice. It's got a nice matte screen, which with the screen off you can kind of see it's got a little bit dirty, but not as dirty as that. And honestly, actually this one was used. We bought that used. And no mouse pad, just because the mouse pad I have is really ugly looking, and this mouse works just fine as it is, like on the wood surface, it works fine. And I'm sure I could get better performance if I were to get a nice gaming mouse and gaming mouse pad. But for now, the mouse pad's not a big issue for me, because performance is not what I'm looking for. I'm just more like goofing off. You guys know how my channel is. But eventually I do want to upgrade mouse, just because this thing is not comfortable. It's like, after being on it all day, it gets really uncomfortable. The keyboard is okay, but just like, eventually it would be nice to upgrade to something more higher quality. And so this is basically how my desk is set up. Ignore the lamp. That is my sketchy lighting solution. So this is basically what it looks like. If I can get back as far as I can. And in classic the Lego Cantina style, I do have a Lego stand for my speaker on this side, since it's on the lower elevation. And one thing I do want to point out, the internal cable management in here, which looks like a mess, which is fine by me for now at least, since you don't see it anyway. Down here, I have to say, I'm very proud of my cable management skills down here. You can see that wire, which I think is just the speaker. Yeah, that's just the speaker, so pull that out of the way. You can see it's kind of all routing over here, and then it looks like a mess over here, but no one really sees that. It all plugs into this, kind of see it through the mess. It all plugs into that splitter. But all in all, since this is like the main part of the desk, I'm really proud that this whole section is clean. I have everything attached to this twist tie back here. Let me see if I can get my lighting so you can see a little bit better. Everything is attached to that twist tie, and so it goes out of the way and down underneath the second desk. And so at least from like the front presentation, this whole cable management looks really nice, and I'm very proud of it, especially considering I think this was one of my 2 a.m. projects. And there you have it. Just a small one. I mean, I know what this is, all these things, so I'll just start with the small one. I'm gonna see if it's possible to open this thing with just the bionicle knife. This might actually be really easy, actually. Hang on. Let's do it this way so you guys can see it better. day is now